NBA trade bombshell. Heat send controversial guard to Bulls for two-time All-Star. Vučević to Miami. NBA trade proposal. A bold move for the Miami Heat and Chicago Bulls. As the NBA offseason unfolds, teams are actively seeking ways to revamp their rosters in preparation for the 2025-26 season. With numerous veteran players facing expiring contracts and several franchises reevaluating their timelines, trade discussions are buzzing, especially among teams eager to reset their core while ensuring future flexibility. The Miami Heat and Chicago Bulls find themselves at a pivotal juncture. Miami is recovering from a lackluster season marked by underwhelming performances from key acquisitions, while Chicago remains stuck in the middle of the Eastern Conference standings, lacking a clear direction. Both teams are anticipated to pursue changes that align more closely with their evolving strategies. A recent speculative trade idea presented by Sports Illustrated has ignited conversations about a potential deal that could be advantageous for both franchises. This proposed trade would see the Heat sending guard Terry Rozier, promising prospect Pelle Larsson, and a second-round pick in 2027 to the Bulls in exchange for center Nikola Vučević and guard Dosunmu. Proposed trade details. Miami Heat receive Nikola Vučević, Dosunmu. Chicago Bulls receive Terry Rozier, Pelle Larsson, 2027 second-round pick. Miami Heat's perspective. Terry Rozier, at 30 years old, has had a tumultuous season with the Heat. After being brought in from Charlotte to enhance the backcourt, he managed to average 11.0 points, 4.0 rebounds, and 3.0 assists per game. But his shooting efficiency was lacking. His role diminished as he was moved to the bench and became involved in a league investigation concerning gambling activities. Although he has been cleared by the NBA, Rozier's standing in Miami has weakened, and his expiring contract worth $26 million is viewed as a potential asset for trade. This proposed trade would provide the Heat with much-needed front-court support in the form of Vučević, a two-time All-Star whose contract is also expiring. Miami has expressed interest in transitioning Bam Adebayo to power forward in certain lineups, and Vučević's skills in shooting and rebounding could facilitate this adjustment. Additionally, the team has recently drafted rookie Pelle Ware and signed Norman Powell, indicating a willingness to make further changes. Dosunmu, aged 25, would add defensive versatility and depth to Miami's backcourt. As a second-round pick in 2029, he has established himself as a dependable rotation player in Chicago and is entering the final year of his $7.5 million contract. Chicago Bulls perspective. The Bulls have been contemplating their options regarding Vučević since the trade deadline and have yet to solidify a long-term strategy. The 34-year-old center has remained effective, but with his contract nearing its end and the team making gradual changes, Chicago may be inclined to recover value while also freeing up future salary cap space. Dosunmu has attracted interest from various teams this offseason. Including him in a trade package could enhance Chicago's ability to acquire additional assets. In this scenario, the Bulls would gain Rozier's expiring contract, Larsson, a rookie guard on a favorable contract, and a future second-round pick. This move aligns with Chicago's recent trend of restructuring. Earlier this month, they traded Lonzo Ball to Cleveland and have yet to re-sign restricted free agent Josh Giddey. The proposed trade would provide a transitional option at guard, while increasing financial flexibility as they head into the 2026 offseason. Outlook. While there are currently no formal discussions between the Heat and Bulls, the proposed trade structure reflects the needs and motivations of both teams. Miami is looking to retool after a disappointing season, while Chicago seems open to reshaping its core and preparing for long-term salary cap relief. As both franchises assess their next steps, trade frameworks like this one could become increasingly plausible as the 2025-26 season draws nearer. Latest NBA news and rumors. NBA rumors. New intel reveals Los Angeles Lakers LeBron James wants farewell tour in final NBA season. NBA rumors. Insider reveals why Miami Heat weren't interested in signing Damian Lillard. NBA news. Brooklyn Nets Cam Thomas fire back at insider Zach Lowe. What do you think about this proposed trade? Could it be a game changer for either team? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Terry Rozier, never an issue in Miami Heat locker room. How he differs from Jimmy Butler. Terry Rozier, a reliable teammate amidst controversy. It's widely acknowledged that veteran guard Terry Rozier's time with the Miami Heat has not unfolded as anticipated. However, team insider Ira Winderman asserts that Rozier has never posed any problems within the locker room. According to Winderman, Rozier consistently arrives prepared to play and eager to support his teammates, earning a reputation as a commendable colleague. Interestingly, Winderman's remarks subtly cast a shadow on former Heat star Jimmy Butler, suggesting a stark contrast in their locker room dynamics. Winderman elaborated, "Given last season's performance and the surrounding speculation about Terry Rozier, I find it hard to believe there would be any interested teams without some incentive involved." He continued, "The Heat are unlikely to offer any sweeteners, especially after trading a first-round pick for Rozier, which is due in 2027 or 2028. If a trade does occur, it will likely involve another team looking to offload future financial commitments in exchange for Rozier's expiring contract, rather than freeing up cap space for the Heat next summer. If Rozier can improve from last season's struggles, he could be a valuable asset for a team facing offensive challenges. Yet, one thing remains constant. Throughout both the highs and lows of his time with the Heat, Rozier has never been a locker room issue, unlike Jimmy Butler. He shows up ready to contribute and has proven to be a solid teammate. Rozier's tenure with the Heat has been marred by inconsistent performance and a gambling investigation linked to his previous stint with the Charlotte Hornets. When he joined the Heat midway through the 2023-24 season, he was expected to be a significant addition, but the results have been disappointing. His inaugural season concluded on a low note as he was sidelined during the playoffs due to injury. In his second season, he struggled to find his form, averaging only 10.6 points, 3.7 rebounds, and 2.6 assists per game, with shooting percentages of 39.1% from the field and 29.5% from three-point range. Currently, Rozier is under contract for one more season, leaving his future with the team uncertain. However, it appears that his time in Miami will likely conclude by the off-season of 2026. While it remains to be seen if the team will part ways with him sooner, there have been reports of efforts to trade him. Earlier in his career, Rozier enjoyed several strong seasons, often averaging around 20 points per game. It is possible that a change of environment could help him regain his rhythm. At 31 years old, he still has the potential to have productive seasons ahead. Ultimately, it's reassuring to know that Rozier has maintained a positive attitude as a teammate during his struggles. It's all too easy for a player facing challenges to let frustration seep into the locker room atmosphere. If he stays with the Heat for the upcoming season, there's hope that he can turn things around and make a meaningful contribution. Could the Miami Heat trade Terry Rozier? Analyzing insider insights. Ask Ira, is a trade feasible for the Heat's Terry Rozier? Ira, do you think any team would be willing to acquire Terry Rozier without any additional incentives? If not, do you believe the Heat will have to include something extra to make a deal happen? I really don't want this team to kick off the season with all the drama surrounding Terry. We had more than enough of that last year with Jimmy Butler. Jerry, Miami. Given Terry Rozier's performance last season and the ongoing speculation surrounding him, it seems unlikely that any team would take him on without some form of incentive. The Heat are in a tough spot since they already traded a first-round pick for Terry, which is due in 2027 or 2028. If a trade does occur, it would probably involve another team looking to offload future financial commitments in exchange for Terry's expiring contract, which wouldn't impact the Heat's salary cap next summer. However, if Terry can bounce back from his poor performance last season, he could be a valuable asset for a team struggling offensively. One thing to note is that throughout his time with the Heat, Terry has consistently been a positive presence in the locker room, unlike Jimmy Butler. He shows up ready to contribute and has proven to be a supportive teammate. Pat Riley is known for capitalizing on distress assets, so I'm surprised there hasn't been any talk about the Heat pursuing Jonathan Kuminga. Chadwick Lakeworth. The only thing that could be considered distressed about Jonathan Kuminga is his current status as a restricted free agent. Given the Heat's salary cap situation, they are unable to extend an offer sheet to him. This would necessitate a complicated trade arrangement involving various base year compensation issues. The Golden State Warriors are not in a position of desperation to trade Kuminga, In fact, they have the upper hand due to his restricted free agent status. The Heat's reluctance to add a veteran backup center is reminiscent of the Dolphins thinking they didn't need a backup for Tua. Everyone can see how this will play out. Harvey. I'm not convinced that having a third-string backup center is quite the same as needing a reliable backup quarterback in a physically demanding sport like football. However, it certainly wouldn't hurt to have more depth. Currently, aside from Vlad Golden, who is on a two-way contract, the Heat lacks significant size in the center position. Originally published July 24th, 2025 at 6:05 a.m. EDT.